Zamazenta paired with Tyranitar and Latios, two Pokemon we don't commonly see in Regulation G, was able to get top 16 at the 2024 World Championship. We're going to be trying out this team and seeing how well it can perform. This is Diego's top 16 Worlds team. Let's break it down. First, we have Zamazenta with the Dauntless Shield, increasing its defense by 1 stage when it is sent out on the field, and the Rusted Shield, which allows Zamazenta to have the Crown form, which gives it the Steel typing and a bit better stats across the board. The Dragon Terra on the Zamazenta was a tech that ended up picking up a lot of popularity because of the fact that you're able to resist strong water type moves from Urshifu, strong fire type moves like Chi-Yu and the Ogerpon Heartflame, as well as even electric type moves from Miraidon. You have Body Press, which is the main buff that I got in this generation, and it is able to do a lot of damage, immune to Intimidate drops, so that is really impactful. Able to one-shot Pokemon like Incineroar and chunk a lot of the format for some heavy damage. Speaking of heavy damage, Heavy Slam is the steel type move of choice. It's able to do a bit more damage to the Fluttermanes and the Calyx Shadow Riders than the Behemoth Bash would on Zamazenta, and then Wide Guard, which is a very great supportive move, of course, for the spread type attacks that are very common in Regulation G. The EVs on the Zamazenta are pretty simple. This one is really utilizing a lot of defense, near max defense actually, with 244 defense, a bit of HP. It already has really good natural special defense, and then you do want speed, which is pretty important. This Zamazenta is barely able to outspeed the base 105s and lower, which is an important number for Pokemon like Mienshao, which can threaten with a heavy close combat. Next Pokemon we'll talk about is the Fluttermane, and this Fluttermane is running the Photosynthesis Booster Energy for that speed boost, and Terra Grass is a defensive type against Amoonguss, Rillaboom, and Urshifu Rapid Strike. Opting for Moonblast, Shadow Ball, Thunder Wave, and Protect. The Moonblast, of course, strong fairy type coverage. The Shadow Ball to hit Calyx Shadow Rider, which is very nice because one of the Pokemon that is immune to the Body Press from Zamazenta can also hit Incineroar, that Terra Ghost as well, which is very crucial. The Thunder Wave allows for some permanent speed control, which can be very helpful for the other mons on this team, and especially helps with the Zamazenta as well. Helps hit Miraidon if it does go for that Terra Fairy to resist a Body Press, for instance. And this Fluttermane, mainly a defensive tool, but it does have quite a bit of speed, and the speed allows it to outspeed Adamant and Modest, Xianpao, plus Miraidon's base 135s that are neutral and not running the speed boosting nature, even if the Fluttermane has taken Icy Wind or has swapped out to reset its booster energy that won't be active on the field. Next we have is the Rillaboom, and this Rillaboom is a grassy surge set with Miracle Seed. We've seen this set done well before at regionals, especially like Michael Couch that was able to win a regional championship in Europe. And really just a very powerful Rilla with Terra Grass, just going on the offensive with Woodhammer, Grassy Glide, really strong damage output, the fake out support that it does provide to the team, and Protect, which is an interesting one, but since it isn't running an Assault Vest, it can't really take hits as well, so not as strong as a pivot mon. So having a mon with Protect, because it is frailer than the usual variants, is pretty solid. Overall, a strong hitter. Grassy Terrain is able to provide some healing for Zamazenta, which is of course nice since it's a pretty bulky component, and able to hit Pokemon like the strong water type Pokemon out there. Next Pokemon we have is going to be the Latios with the Soldew, and we've seen the combination before, of course, with the Rilla and the Zamazenta. The Latios with Soldew has been a Pokemon that has been very interesting in Regulation G, but it's able to do quite a bit of damage, and its typing is actually pretty interesting with the Dragon typing as well as the Levitate. So it's able to resist, for instance, Urshifu Rapid Strike, able to be a nice counter because of its great speed, base 110, and this Latios is able to hit pretty hard with the Soldew that is boosting its power of the Luster Perch and Dracometer, which is very solid, and with the Tailwind support can provide speed control for the rest of the team. It pairs really nicely with the Zamazenta, and the main reason is with the Zamazenta providing wide guard support for the Latios to help cover really strong spread moves that Latios tends to be weak to, such as the Glacial Lance from Calyx Ice Rider, and the fact that most Calyx Ice Riders run Glacial Lance and high horsepower usually, with the Levitate ability on the Latios and the wide guard preventing the Glacial Lances from being fired off. It allows Latios to basically wall the Calyx Ice Riders in that position, as well as being able to be great into most Calyx Shadow Riders because of the fact that you are having that wide guard again to support the Latios and gets the Tailwind up. You also have the Terra Steel, which helps out with really strong fairy coverage, and the Draining Kiss from Calyx Ice Rider. And if you need to resist the Glacial Lands from Calyx Ice Rider, it's another tool that can be very helpful. Next Pokemon we have is the Tyranitar with the Sand Stream and the Focus Sash. So this is interesting. The sand is able to help out and chip away at Focus Sashes, which can be very nice for some Pokemon, especially like the Calyx Shadow Riders that sometimes still run the Focus Sash, but also other tools. Just having a bit of chip damage can be very helpful. Zamazenta is immune to the chip damage from sand being a steel type, which is a great thing. And Tyranitar able to provide weather control, as well as a Pokemon that is pretty nice to switch into Calyx Shadow Rider. There's not too many Pokemon other than maybe like Incineroar and other normal types that can really switch into the Shadow Rider comfortably. But even with a Focus Sash Tyranitar, which is just max speed and max attack, it can still be able to take it well thanks to the Sand special defense boost from the Rock typing, as well as the natural Dark typing with really good special defense and stats across the board. The Terra Ghost able to help out against common fighting type attacks. You have knockoff to hit the Calyx Shadow Rider, especially Calyx Ice Rider, get rid of items, which is nice. The Rock Slide, of course, a really strong rock coverage, can be very helpful in the format. And the Taunt, which is able to help out against Trick Room, Amoonguss, and other kinds of setup. And the Tyranitar, very simply, can really just help out with dealing with Pokemon such as the Calyx Shadow Rider, can help out with weather, changing it so you're not taking super heavy damage from like a Kyogre, as well as it can get rid of some sun shenanigans as well. So it is a Pokemon that can provide some really interesting roles with the Zamazenta. Last Pokemon we're going to talk about is the Landorus Incarnate on this team with the Sheer Force, Life Orb set, and Terra Poison, which powers up its Sludge Bomb and allows it to resist strong Fairy type moves from Flutter Mane and the Terra Fairy Miraidons. Really, this Landorus is able to do a lot of damage with the Earth Power. Ground coverage is fantastic, helps out against opposing Zamazenta, which is very much appreciated. Miraidon and more. You have the Sludge Bomb, which is very good coverage against Pokemon that are able to resist the ground type attacks. And Substitute is an interesting choice. We've seen Substitute on Landorus before. It has fallen off for Sandsear Storm in Regulation G, but this Substitute Landorus, because you do have the Fake Out on Rila, as well as the Tailwind support on Latios, can allow Landorus to potentially get a Substitute on passive plays and make it immune to the Fake Outs that we commonly see in the format. And you don't need to spread move as much as you do on other teams, because this team can play defensive with very good tools, which have pretty generally good bulk. The Landorus on this team, a little bit different, is opting for the modest nature, opting for Thunder Wave and Tailwind as good enough speed control that the Landorus might still be slower than like a timid base 100 like the Chiyus out there, but it's still a very big threat, focusing on the offense so it can run a bit more bulk, so it can be able to take attacks a little bit better. Overall, the team, it plays pretty straightforward with attackers. Really, it's not really about a setup strategy. It's usually about getting speed control with the Latios and Flutter Mane, and you have really good tools such as Fake Out and Rillaboom. You have Substitute on Landorus, so you can set up a straight up damage with Tyranitar, Taunt to disrupt strategies, and of course Zamazenta does shut down any of the spread moves with the Wide Guard and provide pretty heavy damage utilizing that body press. Overall, it is a team that you have really good tools, especially with the combinations that you have that have really good synergy, such as that Zamazenta with Wide Guard just pairs really well with the really strong spread type moves, allowing Rillaboom and Latios to do more damage and protect themselves from those very common spread moves that would normally be threatening to them. Tyranitar can disrupt the weather teams, as well as the Dark type and knockoff can be very helpful against Pokemon that normally would be able to resist the Zamazenta's body press, especially if they go for the Terra Ghost. And the Flutter Mane can be very disruptive with Thunder Wave, while Landorus is a very strong damage dealer. If you'd like to check out the details of the team and the creator, they'll be linked in the description down below. Mienshao Calyx Ice Rider with Ting-Lu, Iron Hands, Incineroar, and Rillaboom. Okay. Interesting picks for sure. I really like Zamazenta, which is pretty strong in this matchup. The rest, well, we'll figure it out as we go along. Gotta make sure that I have good answers into the Incineroar for sure. Lead wise, I'm thinking Zamazenta plus Tyranitar might not be a bad lead here. I like Zamazenta a lot. And then I really do like Tyranitar because we can taunt the Incineroar if it's Willis, which could be really annoying otherwise to my team because of Ghost Terra. Ghost Terra Incineroar is pretty common, so I think that would be pretty nice. And I think in the back, Latios is good offensively, and then Rila as well. Landers can put in some work, but I don't think it needs to. And the Latios walls the Calyx Ice if I do go for a wide guard with Zamazenta, so that could be a nice thing here. Let's see, or at least a standard Cali Ice with high horsepower Glacial Lance, Trick Room Protect. So let's see what they decide to go for here. Gonna be Mienshao Calyx. Okay, perfectly fine. As we lead Zamazenta and Tyranitar, we break a Focus Sash on the Mienshao, which is nice with the Sand. So after this turn, gonna be pretty good. The question is, do I want to go for the Ghost Terra and click Taunt? Because taunting the Calyx would be really good here. I think I'm just going to go for Body Press into the Calyx, and I'm going to go for the Terraghost Taunt. Covers close combat, yet I think they would fake out the Zamazenta more than the Tyranitar. I like the Taunt here a lot because if we deny Trick Room, their team is just super slow generally. I guess the only problem is I think Mienshao is faster than the Zamazenta if I'm not mistaken, because the Zamazenta is not like Eevee super speedy, but it should still be pretty acceptable. Bring out the Tyranitar with the Terra Ghost. We will lose our Focus Sash as well, which is unfortunate, but I think it's alright. Alright, we see a Terra involved here. Okay. So that is Terra on the Calyx. What Terra are you? Terra Water. Okay. So that is fine. Actually, Rila is going to have a good position with Woodhammer. Like, we're in a really good position with Rila. And as long as we keep our Zamazenta around, we'll be in a really good spot. Nice. Nice body press damage. Coaching going to come out into the Calyx. Sure. I guess Glacial Lance is going to hurt more, but that's completely fine. Taunt into the Calyx, so it can't go for Taunt or can't go for Trick Room or Protect upcoming turn. Go for Glacial Lance. I actually would like you to KO Tyranitar here. Would have preferred Tyranitar going down, but that's fine. The reason I would have liked Tyranitar going down there is because I would have liked the free swap into Rila to Grassy Glide. But it's still alright. I can go for Body Press into Mienshao, and I can go for a knockoff into the Cali Ice. Like, Tyranitar being that bulky is really solid. We're able to get some pretty good damage with the knockoff plus the body press. There's really not much they can do, and I can still get Rila in while they're taunted with the Cali Ice, so always threaten the Grassy Glide, so no problems here. They just have a really slow team that does not like this position. Body pressure is going to KO Mienshao. Mienshao is frail, and this Zamazenta does have a lot of defense. It's near max defense. Knockoff. Probably do like 30%. Yep. So with the Clear Amulet, they are going to get a boost, but oh no, they go for high horsepower instead of Zamazenta. So I take more damage to Zamazenta, but they don't have anything that revenge KOs the Zamazenta. So Tyranitar actually hangs on with one more turn of Sand. Which is fine. Let's see who they bring out. Going to be Iron Hands. Which is a-okay for me. I'm going to protect the Zamazenta, and I'm just going to click knockoff into the Iron Hands. Because if I get rid of the Assault Vest on Iron Hands, that means Latios should be able to KO with this Luster Purge, and then I could go for Body Press Luster Purge, and probably should guarantee the win that way. Make out into Zama. As we go for the knockoff. All right. Goggles. Okay, interesting. Glacial Lance going to be fired off once again, but as I mentioned before, we're in a pretty good spot. The Sand is chipping away to Calyx, so I think Luster Purge will always KO the Cali Ice regardless. There's only like a few ways I could really see them getting momentum with what they had. They had what, a Tinglu, which isn't really threatening, an Incineroar, which I'm okay with, and a Rila. And all of those Pokemon, I think, just lose to the combination of Latios plus Zamazenta since no Trick Room was set up. So we now go into Latios. We Body Press the Calyx Ice. We Luster Purge the Iron Hands. If the Iron Hand switches out, we just double up the Cali. So there's not really much that it can do here. So let's Luster Purge. And body press. They're going to retreat Callie into Incineroar. Oh, Ting Lu. I guess they're hoping that the Iron Hand survives the Luster Purge from the Vessel Ruin on the field. But they take a lot of damage, and I think Rilla just wins now. So, and guess what? The Iron Hands does not live that Luster Purge. So, Body Press going to come out into the Ting Lu. Good damage. Yeah, Rilla just wins with Grassy Glide. All right, awesome. Callie. This was just bullying at this point. Like, no Trick Room, super slow team. Couldn't really break through the Zama quickly enough. But yeah, now we can go for a... Actually, I want to check something. Were we faster than me and Chao? I guess we were. I guess me and Chao's 172 if I'm not mistaken. So, all right, body press the Callie Ice, and we'll Draco Meteor the Ting Lu. I still think Rilla wins regardless, but Callie Ice is the only thing that could have comeback potential. So just body press, and then Ting Lu can only get one knockout. It can't get both knockouts there. So super solid, super solid. Like Tyranitar pretty much got a bit more than I bargained for. I felt like I was gonna get the taunt. When I saw the coaching, I'm like, okay, I'm just getting the taunt. I thought I would get the taunt knockoffs. I did get the taunt knockoffs. Like, I was surprised that Tyranitar took the damage so well, and I was just able to set up, I think, for that Latios plus Zamazenta cleaning up, and Rilla. Like, all I was really trying to set up for was Rilla, and that's what I was able to do. It just wasn't on the field. We have Ogerpon, Heartflame, Whimsicott, Miraidon, Farigiraf, Iron Hands, and Urshifu World Championship team or winning team. Let's see, how do I want to go for this? I think it's Zamazenta is a pretty good lead. Zamazenta Rillaboom, of course, is just generally pretty good. And then in the back, Latios was really strong. And then I think it's Landorus as the remainder. Yeah. Fluttermane is another option, I think, in this matchup, but the problem with Flutter is I have to get the Terra on the Miraidon, and I also need Ogerpon either not on the field or can't go for Follow Me in order to actually get speed control into Miraidon, which is pretty difficult. If I'm able to go for a Thunderwave in the Miraidon consistent, or get speed control in the Miraidon consistently with Icy Wind or Thunder Wave, if I had both, then I think it's pretty reasonable to set up, but just Thunder Wave, I just don't think it's worth it. So let's see. Tyranitar is also not useful against double fighting. So let's see what they decide to click here. Or at least lead. Miraidon's probably leading. Unless they want to lead like an Iron Hands lead plus partner. I could also see that as well. Urshifu Whimsicott. Okay. Urshifu Whimsicott against Rilla plus the Zamazenta, which I am perfectly fine with. I don't think Farigiraf should be in the back. I think it should always be Ogerpon. So I think I'm going to go for a body press into the Whimsicott, and I'm going to go for a fake out into the Urshifu. The reason I'm going to go for this is because I could see Miraidon switching in for the Whimsicott and the protect from Urshifu, because you would fear like a Heavy Slam KO in a Whimsicott, and I don't think you have enough turns to sweep. We're going to see Detect come out immediately, but I guess that's acceptable. I mean, I still get a body press into Whimsicott, which is still nice. Fake out gonna fail into the Urshifu. Tailwind, but acceptable. And then body press gonna come out into the Whimsicott and do some chip. Okay. They should be scared of the Rilla. So I think my best play is just to go for a... Do I want to Terra here? I guess is the question. I could Terra here. I don't think I Terra Latios in this game. Landers I could see, but very unlikely. I think we go for a body press into the Urshifu and a swap to Latios. Because this should probably be Encore and Rilla and Surging Strikes into the Zamazenta. Maybe they go for close combat. Unless they want to make a hard read here. We are going to see a Terra come out here, so this might be Terra on the Urshifu for Stellar. Yeah, it is. All right, I'm okay with Stellar or Shifu. Doesn't really do that much to impact this game, so I'm very happy with that. And next turn, I think I want to set up Tailwind and go for a heavy slam into Whimsicott, because I either get the KO on the Whimsicott or I get the Tailwind set up for the later parts of the game. All right, Zamazenta Tarot. They do Encore the Rila, which is great. They go for the Surging here. Yep, beautiful. And with that Terra, we're just taking it so well. Doesn't matter about the Stellar boost. Moonblast into close combat, I'm a little bit concerned about, but I think we should be... I think we'll take it. With the Grassy Terrain recovery. Good damage into Urshifu to break a Focus Sash. They can't tear anymore, so Landers is going to be pretty effective. I'm just going to go for Tailwind Latios and Heavy Slam the Whimsicott. If they switch out Whimsicott, good play on their part. But Urshifu detects. They're scared of Urshifu getting knocked out because they can't get a double knockout, which is nice. They go for Moonblast into Zamazenta. That is incredible for me, actually. Because I get a free Tailwind up with my Latios, and I get the Heavy Slam KO into Whimsicott, which denies more speed control in the later parts of the game. So now I have Landers. I can set up a really nice spot here. So goodbye, Whimsicott. This is probably Miraidon coming in. It might go for Dazzling Gleam. I might just click the Wide Guard here. I might just click Wide Guard. They might click Draco Meteor too, but I could definitely see this being the Dazzling Gleam. No, it's Iron Hands coming out. Okay, I'm fine with Iron Hands coming in. Because I outspeed with both Pokemon, so I just outspeed KO or Shifu. And then I'm in a really good spot. And if I get rid of Urshifu, that's amazing for my Landorus. So yeah, I'm just always going to go for the double up into the Urshifu easily. They go for a Fake Out into Latios, but Body Press will KO the Urshifu, and then we'll deal with the Miraidon as their Tailwind expires. So, all right, really nice. Surprised they didn't bring Ogerpon. I felt like Ogerpon Heartflame is really needed for the Rila part, because what they had didn't really damage Rila. And that's why I could predict potential Encore on the Whimsicott, because they had nothing that could really take that Grassy Glide. Miraidon coming in. And it should be... I mean, do I want to go for Draco Meteor or do I want to go for Luster Purge? I think my safest play is just to... They don't have Tailwind, so I think my best play is to sack Latios here. Go for Protect with Zamazenta. Go for a Luster Purge with the Iron Hands, and then afterward I can go for a Landorus endgame, because Landorus endgame should just be able to come in and clean up this field. Because Luster Purge should easily do like 50-60% to Iron Hand. Oh, that did way more than I expected. Okay, I was about to say crit. Okay, I was like, there's no way it does that much. Dazzling Gleam lock, yeah. Okay. As to be expected. Should KO Latios. Yep. Then we bring in Landorus. We click Earth Power into... There's so many ways we can win this game. But Landorus should win. Click Earth Power into Miraidon. Like, there are other ways I could also win. But I do think Landorus can come in. Actually, I can just click Body Press and I can click Earth Power, because we have the Tailwind advantage, they don't. So I don't even have to click Wide Guard. I just outspeed and KO both of them. So Body Press into Earth Power, and that will be game. So nice. Nice. Goodbye Iron Hands and goodbye Miraidon. So not too bad. I think we just have to always apply really good pressure on their field. The fact that they let Urshifu Whimsicott, but they didn't really play it offensively, just ended up hurting, because they did have to preserve their Urshifu, because it was like the only mon they had for Landorus. So that was a thing. Because they couldn't really damage the Landorus, otherwise they had to play defensive, but that just allowed me to capitalize more, match the Tailwind, which was nice, and just allowed me to get knockouts, specifically under speed control like Whimsicott. And once I got that knockout on Whimsicott, so I set up a secondary Tailwind, I was just able to outspeed and sweep on my own, because they didn't have any protects, because their Urshifu went down as well. Flame Ogerpon, Whimsicott, Miraidon, Farigiraf, Iron Hands, and Urshifu. All right. Gonna be a bit scary with the Miraidon matchup. How do I want to approach this? Let's see. There's a lot that could go right and a lot that could go wrong here. I don't think I'm bringing Tyranitar against double fighting. I think that's for certain. Fluttermane's okay. Landorus is probably pretty decent. Trying to think. Zamazenta's like an okay lead. It does really hate the Miraidon. Granted, I guess the best lead for me would probably be Zamazenta plus the Aurelia, which is generally a pretty safe lead. And then in the back, I would probably want to bring Landorus and Latios, I want to say. It might be Fluttermane, but I do like Latios a bit more here. Because, yeah, I don't have Icy Wind. I feel like if an Icy Wind, it'd be safer, but I'm a bit worried about how Miraidon gets positioned. So I think this lead is probably pretty good. Like, Rillaboom shuts down the terrain from the... It shuts down the terrain from the Miraidon. Latios Tailwind could be really nice matching. We'll find out. I don't know if I want to ignore the Whimsicott. That's my question. Do I want to ignore the Whimsicott? Because Whimsicott's the thing that has Encore, which makes it pretty scary. If I get rid of Whimsicott early, I could set up a position to maybe get like Landorus behind a substitute, which would be really good. Well, let's find out. I'm assuming that this is probably the same build as the World Champions. So let's see. This is going to be the Miraidon Whimsicott lead versus the Zamazenta. Okay. I kind of just want to heavy slam the Whimsicott and just go for a Wood Hammer and a Miraidon straight away. Like, I could fake out. They might Volt Switch out. Wood Hammer gives me so much momentum offensively. But then that lets the Miraidon come in. I guess, like, in this matchup, you want to go for trade for trades probably, though. I think I'm going to go for the Heavy Slam and a Whimsicott, and I'm going to go for a Wood Hammer. I'm also going to double up the Whimsicott in case it Terra Darks for some reason, but it really shouldn't. I don't know if Miraidon's going to switch out or not. Whimsicott's going to switch out, which is interesting. Okay. Frig. Okay, that makes sense to prevent the fake out from happening, but Volt Switch going to come out into the Zamazenta. Does a pretty decent chunk. I guess this isn't too bad. I still get good damage to the Frig, and I'm guessing Whimsicott's going to come out for the Body Press. Oh, Ogerpon. I would have liked Body Pressing the Ogerpon more. All right. Interesting. Heavy Slam into the Giraffe. Decent damage, but Wood Hammer, more importantly, should KO, actually. Yeah. Okay. Not what I anticipated the start to be, but all right. Probably Terra to Zamazenta. They lock into a Dry Move, but they could lock into a Dazzling Gleam here. All right, I'm going to come out. Trying to figure out about what my best position would probably be. It's definitely switch out to Rila. I think I gotta risk Latios. I want a wide guard? Probably not. I think Protect the Zamazenta is always the play. I think it's always go out into Latios. I'm trying to think of like, okay, is there a world where sacking is better? And I just don't think so. Because they have Whimsicott, Encore is always just a threat that I have to respect. So I need numbers here, and I need a decent position offensively against these two. Maybe force the Whimsicott in. I also really got to figure out like what the Miraidon's locking into, because if it locks into Volt Switch, I can play around that. So Latios comes in. Tailwind will or protect from the Zamazenta. I can set up Tailwind if Latios survives the turn. Volt Switch comes out. Ooh, into Zamazenta. Interesting. They go for Ivy Cudgel into what was the Rila. Perfect. Okay, super ideal. I don't know if you follow me in this position, but this is a safe Terra Dragon. Heavy Slam in the Miraidon. Latios, do you live the Volt Switch? Not sure, but I think I'm going to attempt to just go for a Tailwind. Because if I get rid of Whimsicott, I don't have to worry about Encore, and I could potentially pin the Miraidon using my Landorus. which would be really ideal. My only problem is the Landers is modest on this team. It's not timid, so I think Ogerpon might outspeed me, but we'll see. Volt Switch comes out. No Follow Me, which is super ideal. We are able to hang on. That's big. And Heavy Slam will KO the Whimsicott. So now we have a good position where Landers is going to be in a great offensive spot. Okay. Whimsicott in. And they can only Terra one of Miraidon and Ogerpon. So that means Sludge Bomb and Earth Power are super threatening offensively against both of these. Heavy Slam into the Whimsicott will pick up the knockout. Beautiful. And Ivy Cudgel comes out into Zama, which doesn't even KO actually, which is actually super ideal here. Okay, awesome. Because I think... What does Latios want to do? Obviously, there's a threat of the Ogerpon going for Spiky Shield. I could go for Luster Purge, which is super safe. I think Luster Purge and Protect is pretty safe here. Yeah, I want to go for Protect and I want to go for Luster Purge. Go for Luster Purge and Miraidon because I know it can't Protect here. Let's see. We're going to see a Terra involved. I wouldn't be surprised if this is Terra Fairy on Miraidon, but if it's Terra Fairy Miraidon, I think we're in a really good spot. Yeah, Miraidon goes for the Terra into Terra Fairy. Excellent. This might be Spiky Shield and Dazzling Gleam. If it's Dazzle, like, once I get the Luster Purge damage off, I might be able to put in range of Grassy Glide from Rila with the Miracle Seed. That's a big maybe. Follow Me comes out, which is actually really good. Okay. As Luster Purge comes out into the Ogerpon. Really good damage. Wow, that's really good damage. Okay, Dazzling Gleam. Actually, no. Now I have a guaranteed win con, which is just going for Wide Guard with Zamazenta next to Landorus. At least I think it's guaranteed. I guess Ogerpon could get a double Spiky Shield, which would not be ideal. But we're going to go into Landorus. We're going to click Sludge Bomb into the Ogerpon. It should pick up the knockout, which easily picks up the knockout, actually, because we got chip damage into it earlier. So we can go for Wide Guard. We can go for a Sludge Bomb into Ogerpon. Because they locked into Dazzling Gleam, Wide Guard just is always effective here, unless for some reason this this Miraidon isn't choiced for some reason. But we're gonna see Follow Me come out perfectly fine, but I guarantee the win now because all I have to do is just spam Wide Guard into this game and Sludge Bomb the Miraidon that's just stuck in the Dazzling Gleam, which can't do anything because that Wide Guard is protected by Landorus. So super ideal. Okay. Scary. I didn't think they would actually bring the Farigiraf, but it ended up working out really well for us because they only had... They didn't even bring their fighting types, which is surprising against this team. I guess because Latios was threatening. Rila was also kind of threatening, but yeah, I mean, even still. I mean, we already just spammed Wide Guard and Sludge Bomb. I guess I could substitute if I like think this is in specs for some reason, but I think as long as I get the Sludge Bomb damage, I put in the range of Grassy Glide anyway, so regardless, we're fine. Okay. Galax Shadow Indeedee, Undozo, Tatsugiri, Smeargle, and Annihilate. This does not look like a fun team to play against, but it's a team, all right. All right, how do I want to approach this? I do want to bring Tyranitar. Breaking Sashes are always really good. Flutter is decent. It might be Flutter Mane, Tyranitar. I want to bring Latios. I don't think Latios is that great. No, I don't think it is. I think it's Tyranitar, Flutter Mane. How am I beating? Actually, no, I need to bring Latios. How do I beat Rila without it? Yeah. I don't even really like Flare too much. It does pressure, I guess, the fast KO on Calyx as well as the Annihilate, but otherwise it doesn't really do much. You know what? I'll bring Tyranitar Latios lead. I want to have Zama in the back, I'm pretty sure. Oh, this is going to be complicated because I don't really know how I'm supposed to beat Dozo. Like, the most I can really do is just go for Luster Purge and do is maybe get some chip, but oh man, this is going to be rough. This is going to be rough. Because I got to respect Kali Shadow too, because Kali Shadow can just sweep me if I'm not careful. And Dozo plus the Kali Shadow. What a surprise. I don't know if they know I have Focus Sash on Tyranitar, but I'm just gonna go for a... Do you protect Dozo is the question. I think I'm just gonna attempt to go for a knockoff into Dundozo, and I'm gonna protect the Latios. If they go for the Tatsugiri switch, at least I get the knockoffs. So I get rid of the leftovers on the Dundozo, which is actually pretty massive. Tatsugiri does come in. Okay, perfect. So I get that knockoff into the Dundozo. Really nice. I don't know if I can force the Terra on the Dozo, but I'll try. My best play to Draco, or is it to... It might be the Draco. We'll see. Protect the Latios. You go for Wave Crash and Tyranitar, which is absolutely perfect. Because I did have that Focus Sash like I wanted. Alright. They take a bunch of recoil too, and then the knockoff will drop into Dundozo. Okay. I gotta be careful though, because that Calyx Shadow Rider is still gonna be really scary in the later parts of the game. So I make my plays to always go Rila, and I think I want a Terra. And I think I go for Draco. Yeah, I think I'm gonna drop a Draco and go into Rila. I hope that this is just order up Wave Crash. It might be the body press step, but I have no clue. But I think order up is very likely into the Latios. And the reason I'm going for Draco Meteor instead of Tailwind is because I want to go for a fake out into a Tailwind the following turn. And I think that would be better. Then I could just drop a Draco, Wood Hammer, KO, and get 2 knockouts, which would be super ideal. So Terra with the Latios to avoid order up KOing. Okay, they Wave Crashed my Tyranitar. That's fine. Whew, okay. Although that might not be as good because they took the recoil I was not anticipating. Oh boy. I did not want that recoil. I did not think they were gonna Wave Crash that slot. I thought they would order up if they had it, but oh boy, that's a lot rougher now. Okay, Shadow Rider is going to be a massive threat now. Shadow Rider comes in. Tatsugiri should go down to body press. I'm sacking Rila because all I needed Rila was literally for that slot. So I'm going to go for a Grassy Glide. I'm going to go for Tailwind. Or not Tailwind. I go for Protect. Because then I can Tailwind with Zama. Alright, no Indity in back. Okay. I get a big Grassy Glide off into Cali. That's a lot of damage. Astral Barrage. Perfect. It's not Scarf onto Tatsu. Good to know. Alright, Rila goes down exactly as anticipated. And then this should be like Muddy Water or something. Maybe Icy Wind. Life Orb Cali. Okay. I think I can live an attack with Zamazenta. Like, I think my play is always to go Zamazenta and click Wide Guard. But Life Orb Psychic at +1. Ooh, that doesn't sound good, but I think I have to. There's like no other choice. Yeah, I got a Wide Guard and I gotta go for Tailwind. I could see Protect Cali and switch into Indity, which would be fine. Yeah, I'm gonna Wide Guard and Tailwind. I feel like if they had Indity, they would have swapped it in the last turn realistically, so I don't think they have Indity. It might be Annihilate back, and if it's Annihilate back, that would be helpful. Tatsu switches out. Is this actually Indity? I mean, if this is Indity, this is probably Expanding Force, and if it's Expanding Force, it's probably fine. A Terra here. Okay, what Terra are you going for? Terra they're a fairy, I mean, I threatened a heavy slam. I guess they didn't want to take a bunch of damage from potential Draco, because they probably thought I was going to wide guard Draco. So I guess this covers both. But I tailwinded because like I want to cover protect. Oh, it's Draining Kiss. I shouldn't do crazy amounts, right? Well, this is gonna be very concerning endgame. It's playable, but it's really scary. I did not think I'm beating the Dondozo, unfortunately, or this team, because trying to figure out what I can really do damage wise. I can body press. They probably just follow me and attack here. I don't know. They could risk it all and go for the Astral. Like, I could see it, and I think that'd be a fair play by them. I think I just got to body press and Draco the NDD, because they're gonna follow me. Maybe I hope that the Draining Kiss is a low roll. A good damage on the NDD. Body press should KO. Okay. So we have that going for us. The Rocky Helmet means we're definitely going down, but at least it means the Calyx actually will heal less. So Draining Kiss again. Okay. Zamazenta goes down. Can we beat the Calyx? Is going to be a huge question. I think we gotta call A, does the Calyx protect or not? Because if the Calyx protects and the Tatsugiri picks up the knockout into my Tyranitar, I just lose. The other question is, does a double up even knock out the Calyx at this range? Because I actually don't think it does. I have 2 turns. I'm just gonna go for Rock Slide, and I'm gonna Luster Purge and hope that they don't protect and hope that I can get the KO. Okay, they didn't protect. Luster Purge into the Calyx -4. Actually did some good damage. Rock Slide. Flinch, 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 flinch. Close. Close, but not good enough. Close, but not good enough. Unfortunately, I just messed up on the Dondozo sequencing, and that ended up screwing up. That's why I really want to make sure I was like careful against the Calyx. The thing is, I was like, okay, I don't think you're wave crashing anymore. I think you're gonna go for order up into one of my slots, and because they wave crash, them taking the recoil was so bad for me, and I mean so bad for me. Because then I was gonna be able to get tailwind up, because I was like, okay, they're gonna be super low. I get to tailwind up, and then I can position the wood hammers for actually heavy damage. Unfortunately, because they wave crashed, they took the recall, and that meant I KO'd the Latios into Dondozo because of the sand, and that was really bad, because getting that Calyx in at an unopportune time was not ideal for me. Calyx, Ice Rider, Landorus Incarnate, Iron Hands, Amoonguss, Urshifu, and Grimmsnarl. Okay. That Landorus is going to be a bit of a concern. So is that Amoonguss, actually. That Amoonguss is pretty scary. Do I want to bring my Landorus in this game? Probably not. I don't think I like Landorus too much. Substitute's pretty good. Especially like sub with wide guard, like they can't really do much, but I think I want to lead Zamazenta. I want to lead Latios. I think Tyranitar is pretty good in the back. Normally I would lead Tyranitar against Kali Ice, but I don't really like the leads here, and I could definitely see Zamazenta leading. Or not Zamazenta, I could definitely see Landorus Incarnate leading. If Landorus Incarnate leads, I want to have Latios to pressure that Landorus immediately, I think, and then back Pokemon probably Rilla. So how will I play around Amoonguss and Kali Ice are going to be pretty big factors. Landorus is also going to be a threat, but something I do have tools to beat Landorus. I just got to respect it, because Do I want to Terra to Zamazenta is going to be a big question throughout the game. Like, when do I want to Terra to Zamazenta? Because if I do Terra and then they Spore to Zamazenta, Glacial Lands is always super threatening. We see Grimmsnarl and we see the Landers. Okay, I don't know if they have Fake Out or Wide Guard. Or not Fake Out. Fake Out or Thunder Wave. I think I want to just protect the Zamazenta. And I want to just go for a Luster Perch immediately into the Landers. Let's see. There's a lot that could go wrong here. Foul play, Spear Break immediately from an offensive Grimmsnarl would not be super ideal. It really depends on the Grimmsnarl side. Grimmsnarl has so many moves in its kit. If it's just screens, that'd probably be easier, but there's still the threat of Thunder Wave that I would have to respect. I really would like Zamazenta not paralyzed if possible, because paralyzed Zamazenta would be really bad. Yeah. Real might have been a better lead. We're gonna see a Terra come out here. From what? Landers into Terra Water. Interesting. They don't resist Body Press anymore, and they're affected by Rillaboom Grassy Glide. Okay. All right, protecting the Zamazenta. I guess they're scared of Icy Wind. They go for Reflect. Okay. I'm able to go for Luster Purge. I go for the Landorus. Really heavy damage. Now they're threatened by Body Press. We know they're not Scarf. They go for Earth Power into the Zamazenta. Sure. Now are they going to go for a Thunder Wave? Protect. That's going to be a question. They Terra'd, which is really good for me. I would like to Body Press and Luster Purge, but I have no idea if this is actually Thunder Wave or not. I think I just double anyway. They retreat the Landers, which is pretty good because whatever's coming in is taking Body Press plus Luster Purge damage. And like Cali Ice doesn't appreciate this, so I still get a decent chip off. All right. I did this to cover a Thunder Wave from the Grimmsnarl to Eater Slot. They just go for Light Screen, so they have the screen set up, but I think this is still pretty good for me. Luster Purge. Probably don't get the special defense drop because it's probably Clear Amulet. Good damage. Okay. I think I just go for Body Press into Grim. They could get Trick Room, and if they have a Moongus, it's going to be a little bit spooky. Does Body Press Draco Meteor KO to Cali? Maybe. It might be worth to go for that. I think I'm going to try it. Let's see. They retreat Grimmsnarl. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a Moongus to tank attacks. Yeah. Okay, I was right on that. All right, let's see if Draco Meteor Body Press KOs. They have screens up, so wouldn't be surprised if this doesn't. Ooh, that's close. I think we do. Big Body Press. Nice. That is massive. Game ready to Cali Ice. Don't have to worry about Pollen Puff. It looks like Rila is so good here in the end game. Oh, that's fantastic. That is fantastic. Grimmsnarl coming in. Yeah, I think that will help seal it. Gonna protect the Zamazenta. I'm gonna retreat into Rila. Granted, it's still not over. The game's nowhere near over. Well, they forfeit, so it is over. But oh man, Latios Zamazenta, great combo, man. Great combo. Super strong offensive positioning. And yeah, went for aggressive attacks. Super paid off because was able to. I'm still surprised about the Terra from the Landers turn one, but I guess Icy Wind. Again, they respected the Icy Wind. I'm surprised they didn't just protect, go for the screen then. But it really worked out. I was able to pressure the Landers and then pressure the knockout, so they switched into Cali Ice, and then it just didn't work because I was just able to put on more damage into Cali Ice. Then when I read the Amoonguss coming in, I just went for the double pin into the Cali and just picked up the knockout. So that was beautiful. This is one heck of a team. Miraidon, Yvesangelist, Entei, Cresselia, Grimmsnarl, and Iron Hands. All right. Definitely a interesting take on Miraidon, that's for certain. Landers is going to be really crucial to this game. I don't know if Latios is... They don't have way to stop priority, so I think I like Rillaboom lead. And Tyranitar is actually pretty decent here too. It's actually weird that Tyranitar is actually decent here. You know what? I'm gonna lead Tyranitar and I'm gonna lead Rilla. I think in the back, Landorus and Zamazenta. It's so weird having Tyranitar be good into a Miraidon team, but I think it's the case because like pressuring the Calyx Shadow, or not the Calyx Shadow, the Cresselia, pressuring the Entei. Those are pretty important factors. They'll probably bring Entei, they'll probably bring Miraidon. I would probably say Iron Jugulis this game brought. I don't know what the last would be. Grimmsnarl? Grimmsnarl, Entei. Okay. So Tyranitar is really good here. It is really good here. Now, are my switches good? I could taunt the Grimmsnarl if I want to deny screens. I think I just protect my Rilla. Do I need... I don't think I need Zama in this game, but I am just going to click Rock Slide and I'm going to click Protect with Rilla. They might just go for the Sacred Fire and Reflect here, which I think would be super safe for them. And if they go for that, like I get good damage on the Entei still. We're going to see the Terra involved here. Okay. So this is Terra from the Entei into Terra Grass. Huh. Wasn't expecting Grass Terra. Okay. So that's unfortunate for me. We will protect our Grimmsnarl. At least we know their Terra. Reflect coming out. Sacred Fire, right? I don't have a switch for Sacred Fire, really. Yeah. Okay. Please hit the Rock Slides. I want chip damage, at least into the Entei. Okay. Get good damage in the Entei. I probably want to knock off the Entei the next turn. I have no idea what your item is. I'd assume it's Assault Vest on this team. Actually, no. It should be Iron Head's Assault Vest, right? Choice Band? Might be Life Orb. I need Pokemon around so I don't lose the Terrain War. I'm going into Zamazenta, I think, and I'm just going to go for a knockoff into Entei. Because I'm okay with losing Zamazenta early, because it's only really good against the partners. Like, against Miraidon, it's like, okay, but it's not really needed to win this game. I would rather have Rilla around for terrain control. They Thunder Wave. Okay, at least I can't get burned, which is actually kind of nice here. And I thought about taunting the Grimmsnarl to prevent Thunder Wave the next turn, but I don't think it's worth it. Ooh, that's a good dodge. That's a good dodge. We'll definitely take that dodge. Knockoff going to come out into the Entei. Life Orb. Okay. That would have hurt the Zamazenta. We'll definitely take it. We're probably going to get paralyzed the next turn anyway, but that ain't too bad. That ain't too bad. I don't need to taunt the Grim, I think, in this position. I think I'd rather just body press. Probably go for some Rock Slides, and I am going to make that play. So I'm just going to go for a body press into the Entei and Rock Slide. Or do I want to knock off? Because I can knock... I guess I can knock off the Entei if I expect a switch. So I might as well cover it. If they protect, like... We'll find out what Grim has. Is it Spirit Break or is it Foul Play? But we'll see. Knockoff going to fail into the Entei. Body Press as well. What did Grim click? Foul Play or Spirit Break? Probably Spirit Break if they went for like... Yeah. I want to taunt the Grim, so it can't set up light screen. Because it has lights. There's no light screen yet. Okay. I think I do want to body press the Entei, and I'm going to taunt the Grimmsnarl because I don't want light screen going up if possible. Nice. Because that means I can allow my huge threat of Landorus Eye to go crazy against my opponent. Getting paralyzed, as I said before, unfortunate, but that's how it is. Ear break? Sure. This might get a little bit awkward. This might get a little bit awkward. I have to go Landers, unfortunately. Oh, that's really bad, actually. Because now I don't know what they're gonna click with the Grimmsnarl. I think I attempt a heavy slam and I protect with my Landers. This is gonna be so bad. I don't know if they're gonna double up the problem with my Landers is I am modest Landers. I'm not timid, so I can't outspeed the Entei. We're gonna see Cresselia come in. Okay, that's interesting. That actually works out for me, I think, because I get a heavy slam off into Grim. Come on, Zama. Like, come on, Zama. I need you to actually put in work, man. I need you to put in work. Grassy Terrain disappears. Heavy Slam, Earth Power, please. Or Sludge Bomb. I Sludge Bomb. Okay. Oh, it has Ice Beam. That's really bad. Was expecting Ice Beam. All right, Heavy Slam gonna come out into the Grim, pick up the knockout. Okay, the problem with this position though is Landers is heavily threatened now. Like, I don't know how I'm beating Miraidon. I had to get through Entei first as well. I think I just gotta body press the Entei and I gotta protect. I should have substituted Enterad. I thought about it too. I really thought about it too. I was like, okay, there's a world that they protect in Lunar Blessing. Yep. That was obvious. Okay. Unfortunate. Well, I got paralyzed anyway. Man, this is where Modest kind of stinks. I'm gonna go Rila and hope that I just dodge Sacred Fire, or that they go for Extreme Speed. Because they might attempt to go for Extreme Speed instead. And if they go for Extreme Speed, maybe I have a chance. Unfortunately, I just don't think I'm beating the Miraidon in the end. Okay. Maybe I should have Sludge Bombed, but I was going down to an attack afterward. Lunar Blessing. Okay, Reflect wears off, which is huge because now Body Press will actually threaten the Entei. I'm going for Body Press into the Entei, and I'm going to go for a Fake Out into the Cresselia. I still don't think I beat Miraidon, but we'll see. Like, Protect is fine. Rocky Helmet on Crest also makes this difficult. I don't think I beat the Crest, actually. I'm like pretty confident I don't even beat the Crest. I revealed Protect, right, on Rila? Yeah, I did. I think my only hope is that they over heavily commit, read the Rila to Protect. I go for Body Press and then a Terra Grass Woodhammer into Crest. Or I dodge Sacred Fire. That's also another option, because I just don't think I have enough firepower to beat Cresselia without getting this Woodhammer off. And even then, I might not even have enough firepower, actually. Yeah, they Sacred Fire red to Protect. Okay, good. I go for the Woodhammer and the Crest. This is huge. Almost KOs. If we KO'd, we would have been fantastic, fantastic spot. But still not terrible. Lunar Blessing gonna come out. So Crest is low, but again, a lot better than what it was previously. We get the body press off in Entei. We pick up the knockout. So, all right. Miraidon's item is going to be a massive part of like how this endgame is revealed here. Miraidon in. You have Dragon Pulse. I feel like the attack is always like an electric move into Rila and a Lunar Blessing. That's what I think. Because I don't think Dazzling Gleam KOs to Rila. And do you want to risk Wide Guard? I think I'm gonna play risky. I'm gonna get my Landorus in and Body Press. Let's see if this is worth it or not. This could go very poorly wrong, by the way. It can go extremely wrong. Okay, call the Electro Drift. Perfect. It did Lunar Blessing, which is to be expected. Okay. Oh, depends on what this okay. Okay, paralysis isn't too bad. I think I gotta hope that this is Specs, man. I think like that's the only hope at this point. I think I need to pray that it's Specs on the Miraidon. Actually, I still always body press because, yeah, no, I always body press and I Earth Power the Miraidon regardless. Okay, they Electro Drift. I should get the Earth Power KO into Miraidon, and then I think Rila cleans up with Woodhammer because I'm pretty sure we're faster than Crest if I'm not mistaken. So I think we win. I guess I could have guaranteed by protecting, but Earth Power should KO Miraidon. Yep. Goodbye, Miraidon. Crest is probably going to knock me out with Ice Beam. All right, Rila, you got to clean up the Crest, and I really hope that Woodhammer KOs. I don't think I should ever fake out. I think I should always Woodhammer. I guess it doesn't make a difference, right? Because Woodhammer did like 90% of this Crest. I think I just Woodhammer. In case Ice Beam, it's faster and then tries to go for the KO and hope it doesn't KO. But Woodhammer, Terra Grass, in terrain. Hit by Crest. That was such a nutty position. That was just nuts. I had to get so many sequences in the end game right to even clutch out a chance to win this game. Because the Entei was looking so demonic because I wasn't able to get rid of it because Zamazenta was being paralyzed for like a bunch of the game. And oh man, positioning well, like hard reading the Electro Drift into Rila because I didn't think you were going to lock in Dazzling Gleam because if I double protect there and just spam Wide Guard, you instantly lose the game. So I thought, okay, it probably has to be Electro Drift. I can go hard Landorus. I have to commit. I don't think you're likely to Ice Beam there because the hard risk in the Landorus was such a greedy, or not, it was a very risky play, but it paid off so much. Calyx, Shadow Rider, NDD Female, Chi-Yu, Whimsicott, Urshifu, and Mienshao. Very offensive team. Very offensive. Okay. Wide Guard is really nice. Terra Dragon going to be really nice on Zamazenta in this matchup for sure. Tyranitar is actually really good against them. Tyranitar is really good. I think I want to lead Tyranitar plus Zamazenta potentially. Yeah, I don't hate it. Tyranitar plus Zamazenta seems really nice. Do I want Fluttermane? Probably, right? Fluttermane's really good. Rila's really good. Latios isn't bad either. There's a lot I can pick here. I feel like Rila and Latios would make the most sense because like having a switch to the fighting type moves is actually pretty good. The only problem is the Chi-Yu might get a little bit scary. We'll see. Because if they lead Chi-Yu super threatened by Tyranitar. Tyranitar is going to put on a lot of pressure against Chiyu. And that's kind of like my goal right here, is to get as much damage into Chiyu as possible. Whimsicott Chiyu is not too surprising, as I will lead the Zamazenta plus the Tyranitar. Alright, I think that this is pretty alright. I think I just want to... Do I want to click Rock Slide? I do want to click Rock Slide. Do I want to protect the Zamazenta? I kind of want to play in I want to play a heavy offensive position. I think I'm just going to go for a heavy slam into the Whimsicott. If I get rid of the Whimsicott early, I think that's really good, because I don't have to worry about Encore like stopping me from later on in the game. So I'll Terra Dragon in case they overheat. If they Dark Pulse, that's fine, because Zamazenta should live 1. A Tailwind, which is to be expected. Let's see what the Chiyu did. No Terra is really great. They Flamethrower, perfect. So it plays around Wide Guard, but as long as... Nice, we get the Heavy Slam off into the Whimsicott. Focus Sash, not that big of a deal. Actually, it might be, because maybe Chiyu lives to Rock Slide plus Sand. Let's see. I don't think it does. Okay, we knock out the Chiyu. Excellent. Alright, so... It might not be the best, actually, because we still have to worry about... Calyrex comes in, and it's probably Urshifu is the last. Oh, it's Mienshao. Interesting. Do you have Faint? I think the question is, do you have Faint is a pretty big one. I can break the Sash on the Mienshao. I just don't know if they have Faint. That's the big question. I think I want to go Rila. Rila is pretty safe and protect the Zamazenta. I don't know if they have Faint though. I want to play around Faint. I guess like there's Faint and Fake Out pressure, so I don't know which one they're going for. They can Fake Out Tyranitar or they can Faint here. I wanted to keep the Terra Ghost on the Tyranitar if possible, but I just wasn't able to. We bring out the Surge. Ooh, we see a Terra come out. This is probably Calyrex, which is really good for me, actually. Terra Ghost. Okay. Astros are going to hurt. It should be fine. So we protect our Zamazenta. Astral Barrage. Could have wide guarded, but that's fine. I hope this doesn't knock out Rila, but we'll see. If it knocks out Rila, this actually might be a bit complicated. Although I think I still win the end game. Okay. And this was close combat, probably in the Tyranitar. Okay. So I guess if I wide guard knockoff, I just had 1 there, but that's still acceptable. Then again, if you have Feint, I still lose the game anyway. Like, I actually still lose the game anyway. So it really comes down to, does Mienshao have Feint? Well, we'll find out. I'm going to Latios. I'm trying to think, is there a win con if there is Feint on the Mienshao? I don't think so, right? Because I could go Tyranitar, but it doesn't really matter. Actually, you know what? It's probably specs on the Calyrex. It's not Focus Sash, so I can go into Tyranitar, and I think I click Wide Guard knockoff. Don't have Protect on Calyrex, then we should be fine. Because, like, I think in order to do that damage, you should be specs. I'm going to go for Wide Guard and knockoff, and hope I can knock out the Cali, and then Latios should beat the Mienshao. Astro, perfect. And there should be close combat Tyranitar, but we had that Focus Sash, which is so massive. Having that Focus Sash still around, able to knock out the Calyrex Shadow Rider, hopefully. Because if we don't knock out the Calyrex Shadow Rider, might be difficult. But this is a pretty offensive Tyranitar. Calyrex Shadow Rider not the best defensively. Knockoff is a pretty powerful move. It's life for Mienshao, what? Okay, we knock out Calyrex. And it specs. I think it's specs, but we knock out Shadow Rider. Latios should win. Yeah. Like, I knew it probably had to be Specs. Maybe Spell Attack could knock out my Realist since I'm not a Assault Vest, but the damage was just way too much. I was pretty much expecting Choice Specs. So if I went into Latios, I had to hope that Mienshao didn't have Feint, because otherwise he would just Feint Astro and KO my side of the field. With the Tyranitar's Focus Sash intact, I was able to complete a different game because I could go for Wide Guard plus Knockoff, because even if the Mienshao had Feint, then the Tyranitar would be able to hang around still because it has really good special defense. With the Sand Boost, it would definitely take a 1 Shadow Rider attack, and then afterward I'd be able to finish up the game by KOing the Calc Shadow Rider, since we saw the Terra committed, and finish out the Mienshao with Latios. So yes, because they could only either go for Feint or they could go for close combat. They couldn't break the Tyranitar Focus Sash unless they had Terra Blast, but since they were Specs, they were locked in Astral Barrage. Whew. Scary, but that is HO. All right, let's go over to games. In game 1, while I forgot about the Zamazenta and Mienshao speed tier because I knew that the Zamazenta wasn't the fastest Zamazenta spread out there, I wasn't sure if it outsped Mienshao at the time I was playing it. However, it was actually faster than Mienshao, so this was pretty safe. Was able to get the taunt with the Tyranitar to deny Trick Room, and then was pretty much just able to overwhelm because the Calyx Ice Rider wasn't taking KOs quickly enough. In game 2, I just felt I had a super strong position against the Water Urshifu. Even though it didn't go exactly according to plan, the start still ended up being in my favor, as Latios was able to pretty much match the Tailwind and threaten a huge amount of damage next to the Terra Dragon Zamazenta, where it was able to pick up KOs and set up for an excellent endgame for my Landis Incarnate remaining. In game 3, I was able to pick up an early knock on the Farigiraf, which I wasn't expecting, but was able to get rid of one tool, was able to find out all the Pokemon they brought pretty early on, and then calculate a plan utilizing the Latios, which was really nice, as well as being able to catch the Whimsicott, so Tailwind was never up for my team, while I was able to overwhelm after I was able to set up my own Tailwind featuring the Latios. In game 4, oh, Dondozo can be a little bit tricky, man. I felt like the plan actually wasn't too bad, but I was not expecting the Wave Crash once again into Tyranitar. I was really expecting an Order Up potentially, and that just allowed the Dondozo to go down that turn, which was not what I wanted. It gave a free Calyx Shadow Rider in before I was able to set up the Wide Guard. So if I really want to play that safe, I want to get a Tailwind up, but I really want to try and capitalize all the turns of Tailwind before, like, there were Protect Stalls from the Dondozo and I wasn't able to set up and maybe even take heavy damage, or where Calyx Shadow Rider was able to overwhelm my team with Astral Barrage in the back. But unfortunately, because the Dondozo went down because of their own Wave Crash, it did not end up working as well as I planned. In game 5, interesting matchup, which I felt like ended up being a lot easier than it should have been, but was able to do a lot of heavy damage featuring the Zamazenta Latios. I was able to read a bit of their passive plays and was able to punish immensely, especially with the Draco Meteor plus the Body Press being able to KO the Calyx at where it was. Even through the screens, pretty much just left them with no damage output remaining against the Latios. In game 6, this matchup was super strange because Entei is a very tough Pokemon for the team to deal with because of how fire weak it is. However, I was able to set up for a pretty solid position after getting the big Wood Hammer with the Terragrass Rila after committing up a little bit, and then the hard lander switch on the electric type move from the Miraidon was a big factor because I was able to get landers in, one shot to the Miraidon, and then be able to isolate the Cresselia for my Rila to clean up in the end game. In game 7, Hyper Offense, which didn't go exactly how I expected, but it ended up being pretty well, especially with the Wide Guard support on the Zamazenta, and then Tyranitar with the Focus Sash being able to clutch up against the Mienshao, taking the attack and firing off the knockoff to KO the Calyx Shadow Rider, so I was able to beat the Mienshao remaining. Overall, you don't need Chien Pao to power up the Zamazenta's Body Press. It is already a very heavy damage dealer, and I really do like these builds. We've seen similar builds, of course, from Michael Couch that was able to win the regional championship in Europe with the Latios Rillaboom Zamazenta core, as well as Michael Zhang, one of the original creators of this team composition. But a few different changes can really make a huge difference. The movesets, the slight Terra adjustments, and we were able to see Diego pilot well into a top 16, which is an incredible feat, especially with the Tyranitar and Latios, two Pokemon not as common in Regulation G, but were able to provide some really strong roles in today's video. If you'd like to check out the details of the team and the creator, they'll be linked in the description down below. If you'd like to try out the team, the rental code is on your screen. Hopefully it's still available by the time this video comes out. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.